Welcome to Missing on Monday, where the details of a new missing persons case will be explored each week. Some of the content covered may be sensitive. Listener discretion is advised.
Happy New Year!
Hello, Missing on Monday fans. We are so excited to be back.
We are. It was a wild and crazy ride to the end of 2021 there, yeah?
Yeah, it was it really was, but we are very excited for 2022 and all of the things to come. Hopefully a much more chill year.
We're all just gonna sit back, be quiet, and not do anything crazy.
Yeah, let's not have high expectations, okay?
For real. Well, man, I feel like we haven't done this in a long time. I'm like, ooh.
I know it was a really nice break, but definitely ready to get back into it.
Yeah, for real. Well, this week we have a new story about a girl named Paige Coffey. And I just want to say that she has a beautiful name. Like,
She does.
what an awesome name to have. I know
You're
that's
like
completely random, but like I love it.
It is really pretty. Well, I think you're also probably drawn to that coffee last name.
I really am. Okay, before we get started, we ran out of Nespresso pods and
Oh no.
you're new to the Nespresso world, but I know that you have to order them on Amazon if you want to get the good ones. Well, I ordered Nespresso pods on Amazon a week ago, but this wintered storm and 10 feet of snow has made it to where we ran out of coffee. My pods haven't gotten here yet. So we went to Walgreens, Walmart, Target, Safeway, Fred Meyer. None of them had Nespresso pods. I was
Not even
freaking
Target?
out. Mm-mm.
Huh.
It had the only ones they had were the veranda ones, which are blonde, and I don't like the blonde, it's too acidic. So I sent Ryan to Bed Bath and Beyond, and they had Starbucks Verona pods,
Oh, that just
which
made
is
your
my
entire day.
oh my god. You can't even find those on Amazon. It's like
Yeah.
they discontinued them or something.
Did
They
he
had
get
10
all of the
boxes.
packages?
I told him, I was like, get all of them. I will Venmo you. I don't care. And he's like, I'm not spending $100 on coffee. I'm like, I'm
Yes.
telling you, buy them all. He ended up getting 5 boxes. That's fine. I'll just go back and get the rest of them. But anyways, I'm sipping my Verona right now and I'm so happy. So back to Paige Coffey. Paige went missing at the age of 27 from Cleveland, Ohio. She graduated from Charles Brush High School in 2010. So she's only a couple years younger than me. She enrolled at the North Coast College in Lakewood, Ohio. She was all about fashion. She wanted to study fashion merchandising, find a career in that field. She worked at cute little retail stores and like fashion boutiques. She loved to create outfits and styles. She was always changing up her hair, coming up with outfits that matched her artistic personality. And she loved to do makeup as well.
Man, she would have really done great in like our Instagram world today.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
yeah, she
has like influencer like written all over her.
And she does have an Instagram, but you can't look at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. She's really close with her mom, her aunt, and her cousins, and she talked to them every day, if not several times per day.
Her aunt says she is like super artistic, outgoing, reliable, dependable. Paige's mom, Trinetta Williamson, also says Paige is super outgoing. She's a talker, someone who is friendly and bubbly. When Paige was younger, she got married to someone that she met out of high school, which obviously Paige's mom probably wasn't like super stoked about. I get it.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean?
You're a teenager.
Yeah.
Not the
like
best time
life
to get married.
is still gonna smack you right in the face.
Right. You still got a few kicks in the teeth before you get married.
She wanted Paige to focus on college and her career.
Boring, typical mom
Yeah.
stuff.
So what did Paige do? She got married. Yep. She did it anyway, but she moved to Hawaii, which is like,
I mean, that's,
live your life,
you're
girl.
living the dream. Cool.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
And they were stationed in the army in Hawaii. But then unfortunately, the couple did end up divorced in 2016. So
bummer. I don't know how sad her mom was about that, but
I mean,
what's meant to be will be.
That's right.
So after the marriage, Paige was living back in the greater Cleveland area. Then in 2017, she started dating a guy named Patrick Samar Mason Jr. He was in his mid-20s from the greater Cleveland area, and they dated off and on for like 2 years. And this is where Trinetta said that Paige started to change. She started to notice a change in her behavior. She could tell super early on in this relationship that Patrick was really controlling. And he goes by the name of PJ, so we will call him PJ from now on.
Perfect. I know that controlling type. It's
You do.
I do. It's crazy how
easily you can get sucked into that without realizing it.
Seriously, like all of a sudden one day you're like,
you're like, what? How did I get here?
You just don't even know how it happened.
Right. And then you're like, how do I get out?
How did it?
And by that point,
that's the most terrifying part.
Right.
Is
and
how
your
do you
friends
get
and
out?
family are like, I tried to tell you, and if your friends and family give up on you, it can be impossible to escape that.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of times, I mean, I know in my situation, like my family had no idea the length, the extent of how bad things were. It wasn't until years later that any of it came out, and I still don't think most people know the extent. But anywho, we're gonna get back into PJ. So federal court documents show that he has a real lengthy criminal history. It includes robbery, burglary, domestic violence, all of the things. That actually background sounds real close to
well, and underscore that domestic violence, because it's not even once, twice, or 3 times. It's like,
oh my word. So he was charged by Cleveland police with aggravated menacing on January 12th, 2017. Then on January 26th, 2017, PJ was charged with domestic violence and also unlawful restraint. An arrest warrant was issued and he was arrested on September 16th. So it took a while to catch him. That's like 9 months, right?
I was just thinking, how long is that? That's like
9 months. January to,
Bud was on the run.
For real. He was also arrested in 2011 for burglary, theft, aggravated robbery with a firearm, and grand theft. He also liked to steal people's shit. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. He served about 10 months in prison for those charges. He was then arrested in 2014 for complicity to burglary and obstructing official business. That's an odd charge. So basically, he's like super not a great guy.
Right. I
mean, on paper, he's not looking real great.
No.
We're going to bring it back to 2017 now, though.
Yep. So Paige stopped posting on her social media. Her last Facebook post actually was in early March of 2017. She told her family that PJ was checking her Instagram account to see what she was doing and who she was talking to, checking up on her, yada, yada, yada. And this is when her personality started to change. All of her life, she was super chatty, open, talked to her family a lot. And now she's pretty much completely closed off. She's not talking to anybody. Some of her family said that she was being pretty secretive, like keeping things to herself, which honestly, when she knew that her mom didn't like PJ. So yeah, she's going to keep it to herself because she is in that, it's like battered woman syndrome, right? Where you're stuck.
You're like trying to protect the abuser.
Exactly. Oh, it's sad.
Like, oh.
So she, lost touch with her family and friends for days at a time. She was pretty much unreachable, but then she would like get in touch with them a few days later and she'd be like, oh, I lost my phone or it got broken. And so her family would get her a new one. And then it would, mysteriously get broken again or disappear again. And it was just like this on and on cycle.
She was living in a house on Oak Shore Drive in
Bratenol.
Thank you. In March and April of 2019. This is when, let's think it's been a couple of years. Okay.
So this is like the relationship is established.
Yes,
yeah.
It's 2 years about later. So we're, March, April of 2019. Things get pretty scary. An officer from the South Euclid Police Department knocked on Trinetta's door. And when she answered, the officer said that he was there to return a lost and found purse that belonged to Paige. He asked if she was there, and Trinetta told the officer that Paige didn't live there anymore. The officer asked her mother if she had any idea why police found the purse and personal items on the side of the highway. Obviously, she's like, I has no idea.
Like, no, good question.
It didn't make zero sense. The officer asked if she could get in touch with Paige because he wanted to ask her some questions, mainly to make sure that she was okay. Obviously, like her shit is found on the side of the freaking highway.
Hey girl, you all right?
Yeah. But Trinetta explained how Paige had recently become, super distant from the family and how she was difficult to get a hold of. And it was just really hard to get her to respond to even text messages, let alone phone calls. So the officer left the purse with Trinetta, and before leaving, he took an incident report to document the situation.
Her purse was actually recovered by Macedonian police, which is nearby. They gave it to the South Euclid police because it still had her mom's address listed on her driver's license.
Okay, and she was in that district.
Yeah, so you can kind of see where the confusion for police departments starts to come into play. And
how many times have we talked about communication between police departments?
And okay, are we passing the buck? Are we keeping the buck? I don't know.
Yeah. Are we sharing the buck? What's happening?
Who's investigating?
Yes.
So now at this point, Paige's family is getting really worried. I mean, it's been a couple of years in an abusive relationship. They can't get through to her. That very same day, though, Trinetta got a text from PJ, which was super weird because he knew that she hated him. And he told her that Paige had shot him in the head. And then a few minutes later, he sent her a picture of his bloody head. What the hell? Then a few minutes go by and he sends another picture, and it's a handwritten note in Paige's handwriting, basically saying, like, I shot PJ in the head.
But also, here's the thing is, why the F are you sending this to her mom?
Right. Like, what's the plan here? What's the angle? Are you?
Well, also, if you're the victim.
Right. Like, oh, hey, look at me. I'm the victim. Your daughter did this to me. My first question
but also,
is,
if she didn't do it, why did she do it?
Yeah. Why'd she do it?
Yeah. Sorry. Continue, friend.
So now the police are involved once again. They ended up putting Paige in the hospital for a psych evaluation because she was completely hysterical, which who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend is sending your mom photos saying that you shot him in the head, and this is all alleged at this point. Weirdo.
One of the sergeants told Paige's family that he thought a murder-suicide was basically imminent because in situations like this, a person is so abusive and controlling, they manipulate you until you feel like there is no way out. Literally, we were just saying that you don't know how to get out. It's so sad. So PJ actually did have bullet fragments in his head. Obviously, he was actually shot, but so was his car, apparently. And no one really knew who fired the shots. While in the hospital, Paige told her mom that PJ forced her to write the note at gunpoint. Like, bouquet of red flags.
Absolutely.
A whole bouquet. I mean, there was like 20 bouquets up until now, but like, that's freaking scary.
This is a situation where, like, I feel like as a parent, it's so difficult because your daughter is grown. She can make her own decisions, but she's making decisions that are putting her life in danger. And
exactly. And if you steer too
if you
hard,
push too
either
hard,
way,
yeah,
you're going to push her away.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to feel like she can't confide in you because you're going to judge her or.
Exactly.
It's
terrible
rough,
what manipulation can do.
Mm-hmm.
So in April, Paige was released from the hospital and she told her mom that she wanted to break up with PJ. She didn't want to be with him. She's going to try and get away from him. But unfortunately, this cycle of manipulation continues and they ended up getting back together. Fast forward to April 30th, 2019, Paige asked Trinetta to give her a ride to Oakwood Village where PJ lived. And she knew that her mom hated PJ, but she didn't want to hear about it. So they just didn't talk about it.
Obviously, like you just told your mom that he like held you at gunpoint and made you write a note. She's not his number one fan.
No, and what a shitty situation for her mom to be in. Like,
I want to support you, but like,
yeah. I mean, sometimes as a parent, you just have to pick your battles. And I can understand why she was letting it go for the sake of their relationship, but not a good feeling.
No.
So Paige gets out of the car, and that was the last time that Trinetta saw her daughter. The next day, she did get a text from Paige asking her to add $30 to her Cash App card. But as far as we know, that's the last interaction that they had.
When Paige got out of the hospital, after that whole situation with PJ, she didn't have a job. She didn't have a source of income. She didn't have a car. And basically, she had to cling to PJ because she didn't have anything else. And that's what these guys do. They make it to where you have to depend on them basically for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she was completely dependent on him. A friend of Paige's said he would take her phone and didn't want her to have a job, basically, because that's what he wanted. He wanted her to be completely dependent on him. Mm-hmm. On May 5th, Trinetta got a phone call from someone Paige had worked with. He was trying to get in touch with her. So she texted Paige to let her know. Paige never texts back. I feel like that's also like such a hard thing to text because probably at this point she's not answering phone calls a lot. So she thinks a text is easier to get to her.
But PJ is probably monitoring her texts and her phone calls.
Yes. And you say
she
that
can't speak freely.
Yeah. And this dude's trying to reach out to her.
Right. This dude's trying. I mean, think of you can, it turns into an argument, which
I already know.
I mean, we're speculating, but yeah, like, why is this guy wanting to get a hold of you? No.
Mm-hmm. And who freaking knows why he really was?
Right. Maybe he had like a paycheck for her or something, or like a question. Who knows?
Maybe he wanted a reference because they work together.
Yeah.
Like, there's a million reasons, but anyway.
Not for a narcissist.
Police later told her that at this time on May 5th, Paige and PJ were staying at a cheap ass hotel near Akron, Ohio. But they got evicted on the 6th and they left the motel. The next day, Tuesday, May 7th, PJ went to see his probation officer for a required check-in. PJ and Paige were later seen on surveillance in the Home Depot. in a large shopping area in Cleveland. So that's on the 7th.
So basically the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, there's
like,
confirmation that these two are together.
Yes, that's what we're saying. And it's at the Home Depot, you guys. They didn't like go buy a bunch of weird shit. Like they bought some candy bars. It wasn't like, tarps and like rope. It was like candy bars.
And brake fluid.
So it was, I just wanted to let you guys know, because as soon as I heard the Home Depot, I was like,
whoa,
what are we buying at the Home Depot?
So unfortunately, there is no surveillance outside of the Home Depot. So nobody knows where they went after that. Paige's phone pinged that evening around 6 p.m., but the police are not commenting on the cell phone activity. And we know that that's because they need that information, because it's crucial to figuring out some information on the case, evidence,
and
what have you.
As much as we hate that, like,
we get
also, we have to understand they have an investigation and they have to hold these things so that there's only certain people that are going to know where that ping was.
Sometimes it makes you wonder, though, with all the internet sleuths in the world, if it might be more beneficial to release it, but what do we know?
Yeah.
After the 7th of May, Paige's phone was going straight to voicemail. She hasn't posted on social media, and police say that she hasn't used her social security number or her Cash App. Her family says that she doesn't have a habit of leaving without telling anyone, and Trinetta felt like it was especially unlike her for her to not reach out on Mother's Day, which was May 11th that year. So at this point, her mom is freaking out, which, yeah, your daughter is missing. I mean, in your mind, even if it's not official, she's missing.
Well, and it's Mother's Day.
Right.
Like they still have a relationship, and
Trinetta was obviously,
yes. And Trinetta was obviously like trying to be as supportive as she could. Like,
right.
She even took her to PJ's house. So I feel like she would have reached out on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
On May 16th, Trinetta actually called PJ looking for answers. She's pretty like, where the frick is my daughter?
Which is right. Like the level of hatred that this woman has towards this man is going to take a lot for her to reach out. I get that.
Yeah.
You have to swallow a serious pill.
But also, like, where's she at? Because like I dropped her off with you, and now she's nowhere to be seen.
Freak is my daughter.
Yeah. He tells her they broke up and they hadn't seen each other in weeks. So that was on the 16th. We know they were seen together the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Trinetta literally 9 days.
Yeah. Trinetta knew he was lying. So she pulls like the ultimate mom.
Right.
She calls his mom.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. She's like, okay, I'm going to call your mom. Because she knew that he would stay with her every now and again. But PJ's mom said that they hadn't seen Paige in months. On May 17th, Trinetta filed the missing persons report. She told the police that she hadn't heard from her daughter in 2 weeks and that Paige was with PJ. Police took on the case, but they notated in the report that there was friction between Trinetta and Paige because of PJ, and that Paige was off her meds and maybe experiencing a mental change.
Which kind of isn't fair because the media coverage kind of focused on what little there was. They kind of focused on that mental change rather than the disturbing situation that she was in.
She's in.
Yeah.
And let's rewind. The only reason that she was on those meds is because this dude pushed her so hard mentally.
Right.
And apparently held a gun to her head and made her write a note, and she ended up in a freaking, hospital.
The other thing that was really bothersome is that in the in one of the statements from authorities, someone suggested that she could be hanging out on a beach somewhere. Like, really? You
I know
think
you
that
guys cannot
she's
see our look on our face right now.
yeah. I I mean, my God, that level of ignorance is just shocking to me. First
But
of all,
also they're in Ohio.
right. What beach are they
Where's
going
the
to?
beaches?
Where's
Where's
the
the
beach?
beaches?
And at that, like, really, this woman is missing, and like, we're just gonna go, yeah, she's probably chilling with a margarita on the beach, soaking up some rays. It's fine, she's cool. But she hasn't talked to her family in weeks, and she just got out of a hospital because her boyfriend had her at gunpoint. Like, she's fine though. So that takes us to today, 2.5 years later. We still have no clue where she is and what PJ's involvement is. It did come out later from PJ's cousin, which, side note, PJ's family is like 100% Team Paige. Like, they're outing him
I love
on
this.
the daily. They are like, boy, bye. They know he's a piece of shit.
Well, they can see right through his shit.
Oh, yeah. So PJ's cousin comes out later saying that after Paige disappeared, he torched his truck for unknown reasons. PJ says that he sold the vehicle, but there are no sales documents or transfers of title that anybody can find. Trinetta and Paige's aunt actually spoke at a press conference with the FBI and Bracknell police. We'll play you that clip.
Yes, I'm Paige's aunt. And I just want to say that our very much loved sister, niece, cousin, Paige Coffey, has been missing since May 1st, 2019. Paige is a wonderful young lady. She is very close to her family, and she would have never just walked away from her family and friends. Paige has a very close relationship with her parents, her grandparents, brothers, and cousins, and there is no way she would go over 9 months without contacting her family. Words cannot express the pain we are going through, and we are grateful to all the family and friends who have been praying for her safe return and helping us through this horrible ordeal. We are asking anyone who has information about Paige's disappearance or know of her whereabouts to please contact Bracknell Police or the FBI. And Paige, if you are listening, please contact your family. There's a tip line. The number is 216-622-6842. And we just ask for anyone, if you have any information, to please let us know. No tip is too small. It's been agonizing over these last 9 months, and we're just hoping to find her as soon as possible.
At the time of her disappearance, Paige Coffey stood 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed 230 to 260 pounds. She had brown hair, brown eyes. What she was wearing when she was last seen is unfortunately unknown. It has been noted that she frequently changes her hair color. Her middle name is Noel.
I love it.
So her mom started a GoFundMe in an effort to raise funds to hire a private investigator, which we will link in the show notes if you feel compelled to help.
They need, so I was looking at this fundraiser, and it's crazy because they want, I think, a it's $5,000 retainer fee just to hire the private investigator, and then it's $125 an hour. And I think, like, when we're researching a story just for the show, it's hours. I mean, I think I probably
we put in
have
a lot
like,
of time. Yeah.
I think each episode is probably like 12 hours of work between the two of us.
For sure.
For one episode.
And that's probably like at least 12 hours.
Right. So imagine a private investigator. That is an insurmountable amount of money. So anyways, that's the story of Paige Noel Coffey. Beautiful
Ashley
girl.
needed to say her name one more time.
I did. I love that name. So, we're really hoping to put a fire to this story and get it out there, because seriously, if you Google it, there's almost zero information. And I do want to note that a lot of this information came from True Crime Garage's podcast featuring Paige, they had a lengthy interview with her mom. And I did reach out to her, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to connect with her. If we do, I will definitely be sending out an update. But if you want a lot more detailed information, you can head on over to their podcast. They have text message interactions and interviews with friends that we're not adding because we didn't have the ability to talk to her mom and get the facts straight. But we did want to make the show just to help get her story out there.
Absolutely. And, also we're here to support other podcasts as well. So
yes, so
if you want to hear all of that detailed information, head on over there. It's a great podcast.
It is.
So, I just wanted to know, because, not all of our listeners, some of them are out of the country. We are in Washington State, United States of America. And it has literally had snow for ever since Christmas. And it's like the 3rd of January.
I mean,
there's still snow.
There's so much snow.
And we Washingtonians are like, this is not our life. Okay.
We never, my husband has been home literally all week because of the snow. And I'm like, okay, time to go back to work. I love you to death, but
bye.
Let's go back to our normal routine.
That's so funny.
No, actually, it's been fine. We got an Oculus. And so I have been fully immersing myself in the world of virtual reality. And it is so much fun. And I've been so sore. And you remember this, but my parents were supposed to come in for Christmas. And
because those are the people that, so the last episode I did by myself, and I said that we had family coming in from out of state, and those are the people right there that were supposed to come in.
And they did not, because the day before their flight, they tested positive for COVID. So that was a huge bummer, but we actually were able to
linger Christmas on.
I do. I still have my Christmas decoration. We still have our tree. Our lights are up. Nothing has changed. It is still Christmas season in my house because our family Christmas is this weekend. They fly in on Wednesday. I'm picking them up and we're going to have our family Christmas. But I will say that for anybody who has the interest and has $300 of expendable money, my brother, me, and both of my parents got an Oculus, and we spent all day on Christmas hanging out together virtually on the Oculus, playing games, and it was so much fun. And it was really, honestly, super needed because I was real bummed about not being able to see my family on Christmas. And so, I'm sure there's listeners out there who have some distance between them and their family because of COVID or whatever. So I would highly recommend, even if you don't have a gaming system or whatever, have a Zoom meeting together, try to be together, because even if it isn't the real thing, it is refreshing and it does help.
For sure. And I remember when you got your Oculus, I said, I'm going to lose you to virtual reality because you're just going to live there.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you remember when I called you and I hadn't talked to you for like 5 days?
Yes. And I'm like, what have I been doing? Oh, right.
Oh, that's right. You have been living in a virtual reality world.
I can now officially say that I can play and pass the expert level on Beat Saber. So,
well, Lord have mercy.
Ryan recorded a video of me doing in the living room, and I had no idea he was there because I couldn't see him. And I'm just like, wow. It was great.
So funny.
It's a good workout.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Plus, we're snowed in, so it's not like I can leave anyway. I mean, technically, I probably could leave at this point because
but I'm not.
The main roads are fine, but nah.
Well, we have truly enjoyed our break, but we are so excited for 2022 and to bring you guys more stories. So we will be back next week on Monday with another story.
Hell yeah. Happy New Year. We're all going to be good and stay in our lanes and pour circles of salt around ourselves and be on our very best behavior, because this year is going to be kick ass. We're going to make
That's
it
right.
so.
Everybody put on your positive patty pants.
Yep. We are going to manifest all the goodness.
All right.
So,
until next week, we will see you guys then.
we love you. We will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.